On the nationally ranked running Utes of Utah. Welcome back, everybody. Steve Brown along with Frank Layden. And let's take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places and do things you never thought possible. No, that is not Rick Majerus, but that is his record. But that is a Ute fan. And we'll look at Utah's starting lineup. The Utes start across the front, 6'10", 6'11", 6'7". They're going to be much bigger than the San Jose State Spartans. No change in Utah's starting lineup as Killian and Miller will man the guard positions. Jensen and Metala at the forward, and Big Nate Althoff back in the center. Now we'll look at Rick Majerus and his coaching record at Utah, as that is a Spartan, young Spartan, and their starting lineup is 6'9", 6'2", 6'7", 6'5", 10". And we told you about Terrence Richman at 6'2". He's the guy the Utes will have to stop. But Michael Quinney, the guard, number 10, at 6 feet even, is also a guy who has shown the ability to score in the last couple of games. So those are the starting lineups. There is Phil Johnson at San Jose State. His first year, he's shooting to be .500. If he could get a win tonight, he would not only be .500, but he would certainly have a feather in his cap. As we said, he's already knocked off some of the big names in the WAC this year. And this is a team, incidentally, that won only 3 games last season, essentially the same people, and they are now 11-12 on the season. And Rick Majerus huddle. Of course, Rick Majerus leading his Utes and trying to preserve that perfect record again. And we talked about, Frank, the ability of Utah to run the table. But if they win tonight and then they win on the road at Fresno on Saturday, they wind up with UTEP and New Mexico at home next week.
Well, you know, Al McGuire, of course, was Rick Majerus' mentor. He was his coach, and then later on, Rick served as his assistant. Always felt that a late season loss was good for a team, that it would take the pressure off them going into a conference championship and or the NCAA playoffs. So I don't know about that. I would like to have momentum going in, especially if you have a young team. You certainly wouldn't want to have your confidence shaken at this point in the season. So I think in terms of Rick Majerus, he'd like to run the table and go into the go in with momentum to the WAC championships.
You saw the contingent of Ute fans behind the Utah bench. They are well represented tonight in this crowd of 5,000. But I'll tell you one thing, this is a kind of gym you gotta love, Frank. It only holds 5. They're close. It's noisy. The ceiling is low. It's going to funnel courtside, and we are set for a whale of a WAC basketball game.
Well, I think so, and then you can tell right off the bat that the crowd is into the game already. It's going to be interesting to see if the Utes can take it out of them.
Tonight's tip-off is brought to you by AT&T Wireless Services. It's all within your reach with AT&T. Set to jump center for the Utes. Hano Metala steps into the circle. And Hano will jump against Will Troywick at 6'7", so Hano will have the height advantage. And we are underway. Tip is stolen by the San Jose State Spartans.
Boy, it sure was stolen. I'm surprised they didn't throw that ball up again. That ball didn't even reach its height when it was taken away.
Althoff drops back as Troywick, and now the Spartans will go around the horn with the basketball. Troywick holds.
And it looks like they're going to be very patient, hold the ball out. You can't tell. Sometimes teams will bluff in the beginning and then eventually go to the holdout. And of course,
and they get good position inside, and Sean Murray breaks the ice.
Yeah, at some point in time, if you're going to hold the basketball, you might want to get a couple of shots, see if you can get the lead, and then try to milk it a little bit.
Althoff working on a low block. They can't get the ball into him, so Killian will look to go back outside.
Yeah, you got to be impressed with the Spartans' defense. I think they're getting out and getting after people, that's for sure.
Jensen makes a nice move inside. The finger roll won't go, but he's fouled. First foul of the game, and it goes to Will Troywick. Jensen will go to the free throw line. We alluded. Go ahead, Frank.
I'm sorry. You know, I couldn't understand what Sean Murray was doing, going out, doubling away out on the floor, and leaving Hansen alone. I mean, Jensen alone. It just didn't make sense to me.
Jensen's first free throw is no good. We alluded to the free throw shooting problems that San Jose State has had, Frank, because they shoot around 60% as a team. But the last couple of games they've shot under that, and perhaps no coincidence, they're on a 3-game losing streak.
Yeah, well, if you don't shoot from the free throw line, it probably reveals something that you're probably not a real good shooting team from the floor. They're a slashing team. They're not a good outside shooting team. They appear to me to be a more than average defensive team. They really get out and get after people. but I also think that they have a tendency to hold the basketball and try to be patient. And that one of the things that does is put pressure on you to score.
Well, the pressure paid off that time because Sean Murray has his second basket.
Yeah, Sean Murray looks like a pretty good player.
Utes try and steal a quick basket and turn the ball over.
Well, yeah, that's another way of keeping up tempo, is by forcing, you know, a fast break, getting the ball down the floor. And sometimes you get the other team to lose their sight of what they're trying to do. And that's what certainly Andre did that time. He got the ball down the floor very, very quickly. But San Jose got back very nicely on defense.
Spartans with a 4-1 lead. Minute and a half into the game here from the event center.
Yeah, and they are going to hold it out, Steve. There it is.
And let's see if Majerus doesn't go to a trapping sort of defense to force the tempo. Offensive foul as Jensen ran around the pick. The player stuck a hip out.
Yeah, that's good defense that causes them to do that. And it's also interesting that if you are going to hold the basketball, you can't have turnovers like that.
R.J. Powell with his personal.
And so far, they haven't completely...
While Jensen makes a nice move inside, and the pass from Mettola perfectly timed.
Perfect pass, and of course, Jensen took his time and put it up off the glass. One of the things that if you're going to hold the basketball out, you can't make silly mistakes. You want to be patient, but they seem to be, while they're patient, still looking to get something if they can get something putting to the basket.
And the Utes are dropping back into man-to-man. They'll give them a little bit of room when they're 10, 15 feet beyond the arc, and no reason to extend. Craywick, finger roll. 6-3 Spartan lead.
A little pick and roll there, dropped the ball off. He took it to the basket very nicely with his left hand.
Killian beats his man, pulls up with a 15-footer, won't crawl over the rim, and a foul on the rebound, a holding foul called on the San Jose State Spartans.
And of course, that's the Achilles heel.
That's Powell with the foul. That's his second as we look at this play again, the last possession by San Jose State.
Yeah, a little delayed pick and roll, and of course he goes into the basket, and Mettola doesn't foul. Now, you don't want your big guys to get in foul trouble, but I think you do have to attack them since they're not a good free throw shooting team.
Substitution, Sean McCullough, 6'3" senior guard out of Dayton, Ohio, goes in replacing R.J. Powell, another senior who leaves with the two personals.
You don't rebound well, and they don't. You better do a lot of other things very well if you intend to win. I don't know if rebounding is the most important thing in the game. Probably next to shooting it is. But it's a very important part.
Mettola tries an up and under move, and he's fouled on the baseline. So the Utes taking it to the hole, which their size dictates they should do. They're doing your job. You see what the game plan is. Force it inside, pound it at them, and get fouled if you don't get the
especially early in the game on the road, Steve. It's very important to establish yourself inside. Pretty much the way football teams try to run the ball between the tackles. If you do that, then a lot of other things will open up for you. The other thing is that they are a close guarding team. They don't look to help as much as a lot of teams do. There's no zone theory. They're just out there playing each man very tough, which makes Rick Majerus' offense maybe a little more crisp and a little bit easier to run.
Phil Johnson in his first year as head coach here with the Spartans, but Arno Mettola's two free throws narrow the Spartan lead to just one.
Well, Phil Johnson has a nice reputation. And there's steal by Andre.
And he fouled from behind before the shot, out on the side, and he's fouled by Sean McCullough. But you saw the quick hands as Miller steals the ball from Michael Quinney.
Yeah, Chuck Bell, the former athletic director at Utah State, is the athletic director here. And before the game, he was telling us that they're very high on Phil Johnson as a coach. Seems all guys named Phil Johnson are good coaches.
That's right. Tony Harvey into the game for Utah with the basketball. Looks for the cutter off the pick, and it's Killian.
And it's
there's Jensen.
Andre on the bench again, which has become the pattern for Rick Majerus to rest his point guard early in the first quarter.
And Frank, the Utes in the motion offense just coming off picks. Just great execution. Mettola's jump hook in the lane won't go down. And San Jose did a nice job defensively.
I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with their defense. If there's anything else that Phil Johnson, the coach, has taught him, it's how to defend. I mean, you know, of all the teams we've seen this year, I haven't seen a team that plays as tough as they do, not only on the ball, but on all the people off the ball.
On the other end, the rebound out to Tony Harvey. And the Utes will look to run. Harvey trying to get a lane, pulls up, uses the glass. The second time it goes down.
Yeah, Harvey didn't hesitate. You could see on his face he wanted to take the ball to the basket that time, right as he crossed half court. And Killian helped him by going through. He took the defense with him. He didn't hesitate, and once he realized he wasn't going to get a shot, he went right on through to the opposite side and cleared the defense.
Whistle stops play, sends it back the other way after the offensive foul. Foul, I think it's going to be called on McCullough. And you see Phil Johnson's got his jacket off already, not happy with that call.
Well, you can see how much he wants this game. Of course, he's got a good record here at home, and he wants to win. This is a big game for him.
And we'll be back. This timeout is taken on the floor. The Utes lead by a point as he works the officials.
Yeah, I'll be leaving on the 18th, sometime in the morning, back on the 21st. What's the last flight out? What's the one before that? Perfect. Yeah, go ahead and book that one.
You know, Dad, this isn't brain surgery.
Now, Southwest Airlines gives you the freedom to plan and purchase your flight online. It's so easy, even a grown-up can do it.
Now all you need is the confirmation number. Can I go play now?
You are now free to move about the country.
There's a lot more to working at AutoZone than looking up parts or ringing up sales. And it has to do with taking pride in taking care of customers. Like testing an old part before selling a new one. Or simply having what they need when they need it. In other words, it's about taking care of people who take care of cars. And that's what we do best at AutoZone.
The wait is over. It's here. GMC's all-new Sierra, built for all that Utah has to offer. Sierra will take your family to your favorite recreation spot with ease and still travel the city streets in style. For the life you lead, the all-new GMC Sierra is now at your Utah Intermountain GMC dealer. GMC Sierra sets the standard with leading-edge features, stylish, comfortable, economical to operate at an affordable price. Your Utah Intermountain GMC dealer and your new GMC Sierra are waiting for you now. What are you waiting for?
Utes by one as we've played 4.5 minutes here. Be sure to keep it right here on KJazz TV tomorrow night at 7 for Legacy. Drama has never been better on a Friday night. That's Legacy tomorrow night at 7 right here on KJazz TV. And during that timeout, Frank, Phil Johnston, the head coach who spent 5 years as an assistant to Lute Olson at Arizona, including a year during that NCAA championship team, was really all over the official after that last offensive foul call, and he's still upset.
Well, you know, Steve, if I had any advice to give a young coach, I'd say stay away from the referees. He used almost the whole timeout berating the officials. And, you know, in my own career, really, if I had it to do over again, that's one of the things I would have done. I think I spent a lot of time myself arguing with officials, and you lose your concentration on the ball game.
Utes with the basketball and a 1-point lead, and you see again the ball-hawking defense of San Jose State. If they can keep this up for 40 minutes, they got a shot here, and they forced the Utes into a turnover. Yeah, what they were doing is they had certainly a unique approach. They had Will Trowick playing off of Althoff and zoning in the middle, taking the middle away from the Utes. The Spartans with the basketball. Inside. Trowick showing he can play with the big timber. Yeah, that was an excellent pass, too. It's one thing to get up there and stuff it, but Utes look inside, and right now this defense seems to have Utah a little bit stymied. Yes, they do. So now he'll play him. He'll play Althoff inside now, and Althoff just keeps getting better and better with that jump. What a catch and shoot. Oh, that was a great move on his part. Of course, they take advantage of their size here, but by Althoff posting up, that takes away that man who's roaming around playing a one-man zone. Pull-up shot by McCullough finds its mark. Well, you get the feeling that this team is sky high. The coach is all over the place because he's got the players going that way too. Good help defense there, Steve. Utes will look to reset out front. Well, back off Althoff. Yeah, I think the Utes are showing good patience now. There's no sense in taking a bad shot. Bad shots will help them get rebounds that maybe they shouldn't get. Crowd thought Tony Harvey stepped on the end line. Official was right there.
Shot clock's running down.
Shot clock at 4. Jensen. Althoff has trouble handling, and there'll be a violation. No, there'll be a steal. The turnover either way.
It was a violation, but they didn't call it.
Pulling it back out is Michael Quinney. Spartans lead by 1.
Well, they're shortening the game. There's no doubt about that. They're showing good patience, looking for good shots. As soon as I say that, they take a bad shot.
Yeah, they did, but they drew the foul. Terrence Richman shooting off balance, wasn't square.
Well, this is what the Utes are going to face. You know, they're a very, you know, widely publicized team, so everybody they play wants to knock them off, and that's what happens when you're good.
Otto Metala picking up the personal foul. Just the first team foul for Utah. That's why the applause from the crowd. 6-1 in favor of the Utes in terms of team fouls. And there's a quick pull-up and release, probably a little too quick. And Phil Cullen, who was checked in, gathers the rebound.
Yeah, they got one of those, and now they've missed 2 in a row. And I think if they take those kind of shots for the rest of the game, the Utes will be quite happy. Here's Andre back in the game.
Goes to the lane.
He is best. And he got ridden out there a little bit, too.
Andre Miller slashing to the basket, puts the Utes out in front.
So far, we've got a good ball game, Steve. They're playing with a lot of emotion. And at some point in time, don't be surprised if they pull the ball out completely. See, they're going to 4 corners now. They're going to milk the clock and try to shorten the ball game.
The problem is they trail. Would they lead, Utah would have to come out, but they trail. Good position inside and a nice easy look for Terrence Richman. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places and do things you never thought possible. Fly Southwest Airlines.
The big thing that the Utes have to be sure, they spread the floor. They have good spacing.
Harvey for 3. He finds the mark. Tony Harvey is in the books.
When you have close guarding of every individual on the floor, you have to make sure that your spacing is even better. Just spread the floor as much as you can.
Utes will drop back into the man-to-man. And again, as long as they stay ahead, they really force San Jose State to do something offensively. They can run the clock and shorten it, but Utah does not have to extend. And defensively right now, Utes still in that man-to-man. Nice crossover dribble. And a shot by McCullough from the corner. Rebounded by Phil Cullen. A lot of traffic in there and a little contact. Andre Miller's spin move in the lane. He hasn't blocked, and a jump ball called by the official. Possession arrow goes to San Jose, but Andre that time went up. I thought it just looked like a good block. But we have a timeout on the floor. 11-14 left in the half, and the Utes have a 2-point edge.
Friday on an all-new Legacy.
You're the only one I can talk to.
Get ready for a dangerous affair.
Beautiful.
Not nearly as beautiful as you.
One man is driven mad with jealousy.
This isn't like you. You won't even tell me what's going on.
When the woman of his dreams ends up.
The man's gonna propose to you.
Thank you.
In the arms of another man. Then on an all-new Love Boat The Next Wave, the captain's son wants...
Sex. Sex.
Sex.
And more.
Sex.
Will he go all the way? Find out.
Friday starting at 7 on KJazz TV.
Looking to spice up your winter? You know who to see. Right now, when you purchase a new or used vehicle from any of the 11 Larry H. Miller dealerships, you'll receive a free drive-away vacation to Disneyland or another great location. And 4 free tickets to Disney on Ice presents Happily Ever After at the Delta Center. Let's see, a great deal on a new or used vehicle, a free vacation, and 4 free Disney on Ice tickets? Exciting news like that makes you want to dance. Spice up your winter at all 11 Larry H. Miller dealerships. After all, you know this guy.
Something's got me, won't let me be. That hungry feeling's coming over me. And when it hits, I just step in line. And I leave with a great feeling every time. Don't hold back, just sit right back and take it. Make no mistake, we got whatever it takes, so dig it. The choice is yours at Chuck Rambo.
Utes by 2, but Frank, the Larry Miller telestrator shows a spacing problem by Utah.
Yeah, I think that when you got close guarding, all right, you don't want everybody in a small area like this, okay? You want to have people out here, people down in here, people in the corner, so that they've got to guard the biggest possible area.
And this time they didn't come over the top to Jensen, and it's really an easy defensive play. Harvey, though, makes him pay by hitting the three. But again, the spacing on the wings was non-existent.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you get them in more one-on-one situations.
Telestrator brought to us by Larry Miller Auto Group, where we're doing whatever it takes to provide an environment of total customer satisfaction. Shooting percentages for both teams, pretty good right now. Utah shooting 63%, and a whistle stops play underneath the foul. And San Jose shooting an uncharacteristic 58%.
Yeah, you got to watch them. You know, they like to throw the alley-oop, they like to throw the lob, and so it's something you got to be ready for. All right, here it is here. I never saw such a long one now.
And Frank, 8 of the 12 Spartan points are in the paint, so they're going to the rim. They want to get Utah inside and go inside on the Utes. Replay brought to you by Southwest Airlines.
Yeah, I think they feel that they probably have a little bit superior quickness. I'm not sure of that. There's an excellent out-of-bounds play.
Treywick is fouled underneath. Let's see, I think Cullen may be the culprit.
The foul is called on number 50, Alex Jensen.
They look like
Alex Jensen.
They look like a very well-disciplined team. They're willing to be patient. They've had a good record here at home, but they do start a lot of seniors, and I noticed that their incoming class next year, that they have several, they've gone to the junior college ranks to bolster themselves.
And Frank, it was ranked 25th best in the country by one ranking publication. As you look at Phil Johnson, and he's got to be happy with what he sees right now because his team is within one, and Will Treywick has a chance to tie this game.
Well, Rick Majerus has got the attention of the referees about something, so I don't know just what it is, but they are discussing whatever he brought up with him. And it's also interesting that I don't know. This joins with when we talked about San Diego State. I don't know why everybody doesn't come to school here. Beautiful campus, beautiful weather, great restaurants in this town. As we went to the original Joe's last night to get a little pasta.
And you know, it's San Jose is kind of one of the forgotten communities on the coast because everybody knows about San Francisco, obviously, and Oakland. But San Jose, you're right, up against the hills, it is a pretty little place. Miller's three won't go. Spartans will run.
And I don't think they compete with Stanford for necessarily for students or athletes, you know, but they have a great alumni, and a lot of famous people have gone to school here, not of which were the Smothers brothers.
We'll talk about that a little bit later as Treywick goes inside, clears with an elbow, no call, and a ball still on the floor, saved, but saved into the hands of the Utes.
Because the Utes are very alert on loose balls. You watch them over a lot of games.
Miller pulls it out, and Utah will set the offense. Jensen has posted down low against the 6'3" McCullough. Jensen at 6'7".
Well, Richmond's proved that he's a pretty adequate defensive player. He's doing a pretty good job on Andre. There's Andre setting a pick there for Jensen.
They look inside the Althoff, and 3 seconds. I was going to say Nate's been in there a while. Tonight's University of Utah basketball game is brought to you in part by AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. Rick Majerus looks on. He's got to be concerned about the turnovers as Adam Sharp checks in, replacing Tony Harvey.
Well, that's an unforced turnover. You don't like to see a 3-second call, but you know what? Althoff flashed. He was free. Then you got to pound the ball inside. You got to get the ball inside to the big guys when they do open up.
Utah with 4 turnovers to 3 for San Jose.
Come on, Will.
20 to Treywick, who plays outside. He's the big guy at 6'7", but he'll play outside. And Althoff will respect him at the foul line, but no further.
Yeah, he can play off of him. Welcome him to shoot the ball if he wants to.
Shot clock down to 10 seconds now. The Spartans will go into their offense. Tie game. And a whistle and an offensive foul on San Jose.
A long time ago, a very good coach by the name of Lou Conaseca told me that teams that slow down win more games. Teams that have disciplined offenses, like Utah for that matter, as well as, you know, the great Kentucky teams of the past, or UCLA, they always respected possession of the basketball. And it seems that that's the way San Jose plays.
Bonus,
San Jose small.
Bonus situation puts Phil Cullen at the line. Utah hasn't scored a field goal in the last 2.5 minutes, Frank. And we have a tie game.
Yeah, we're in the second quarter. You know, they don't play quarters, but we are in the last 10 minutes of the first half. And
there's Phil Cullen, 6'9" freshman. Came in with an awful lot of pressure, Frank, because everyone was saying the next Keith Van Horn, and he's got the same look as Keith. And
good grades, but a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. That's right. I don't know if Keith Van Horn had that. This guy's quite a baseball player drafted by the Orioles.
Missed the second free throw, but the Utes lead by a point.
I still think he's going to be a very, very good basketball player. He's going to beef up.
Spartans look to take the lead on this possession, and inside is Trawick going strong to the basket, but he was fouled. Well, he beat Cullen on the floor that time off the dribble, and Jensen came over to help out.
The foul is on number 40, Bill Cullen.
Cullen committing the personal. Watch it again now.
You know, Steve, this guy doesn't look 6'7", but he jumps like he's 6'11".
Actually, he beat Althoff off the dribble, and Cullen came over to help and committed the foul.
Well, he's got a good build on him. You can see he's been in the weight room. He's a lefty. That's an advantage. People don't realize that being left-handed is an advantage in basketball because you mirror everything you do. You practice growing up as a kid. You're always playing against right-handed people. Suddenly, it's like having a left-handed boxer. Suddenly a southpaw comes at you a little bit different, and you have to fight him a little bit differently. Well, you have to defend lefties a little bit different.
Well, the strong side is obviously opposite usually than a right-handed player. But, you know, from a block standpoint, though, Frank, it helps because your right hand is to their shooting hand.
Well, it should be, except that you sometimes react differently because of it.
You're used to going the other way.
That's exactly right.
Miller looks inside for Jensen on a low block, and Althoff comes out high post. Cullen for three. Phil Cullen's soft stroke, and it goes in.
And that's what's going to make him a great player. He's a great outside shooter for a big guy. And when you're big and you can shoot it outside, too, there's a lot of money waiting for you somewhere.
Killian is at the scorer's table looking to check in at the next dead ball.
They're in a little 1-4 offense.
Richmond is fouled as he flashes in the lane. You saw the quickness that time as Richmond came off the screen.
Number 52, Nate Althoff.
Big Nate with the foul, and you'll watch it again. I'll watch this. Comes from right to left.
At the free throw line,
and again, Nate held position and was actually helping out. You don't mind as a coach seeing that kind of foul, Frank, because it's a help-out foul.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, that he does show his quickness. And they are a slashing team, and of course there's a missed free throw, which hurts them.
Well, and we've chronicled their woes at the free throw line.
Well, I think what Rick Majerus is hoping that there'll be a burst where he picks up 3 or 4 baskets in a row, and you get out a 6-8 point lead before half. You feel comfortable that they're not going to be able to nurse the ball the way they have been.
Richmond 1 of 2 from the line, narrows the lead to just 1. Killian in, Cullen out for Utah.
And of course, I think Miller, the key to him is that he knows when to run, he knows when to hold the ball up. Don't be surprised to see him get into the basket, maybe doing a little posting up before this half is over.
I'm surprised we haven't seen that post up. Hand check called, little push off by Michael Quinney. Miller went past him.
Well, that's what's great about Miller. He can get to the foul line almost any time he wants, but when you need a basket, you need to get to the foul line. He can post up. He's probably the best post-up player in the WAC. I mean, and that's really something when you think about some of the good post-up players that teams like, for instance, Thomas on New Mexico.
First one converted by Andre Miller, and Utah's lead is back to 2. Seesaw battle here in the first half, and as a Spartan rooter, you've got to be pleased with what you see.
Well, one thing, you can't complain about the effort.
This is a team that was blown out on the road at New Mexico last week, scored only 46 points. But they also took El Paso into overtime on the road before eventually losing.
Well, I'd say that the fact that they can win at home and that they get beat up on the road a little bit is because they're young, but they're not. They start 4 seniors, so.
Well, they're young to the philosophy and the coaching status of Phil Johnson, but this is the same team that basically won 3 games last year, and they're 11-12 right now.
Yeah, there's no doubt that he's done a great job of bringing a different kind of spirit. And, right now, you look at their size, but they play with a lot of spirit. They play hard, and that's all a coach can do.
Utes defend well. The clock was short. They turned it over.
Lombardi was asked what a good coach is. He said a good coach is one who wins when he has good players. And I don't know how good their players are, but a good coach can get even poor players to play hard and play with spirit. And then you give yourself a chance to win.
Sharp saves the loose ball on the errant rebound, and the skip pass over to Andre Miller. Utes thought maybe they could steal a quick one, but the Spartans got back, and there's Miller raising from 15.
Miller.
And that's another thing he does well. He can shoot the ball. And see, all of a sudden now the gap is opening up a little bit.
And San Jose wants a 20-second timeout. Our timeout brought to you, as always, by Mount Olympus Spring Water, pure and natural. The choice of the home team since 1898. Mount Olympus, it does make a difference. So the Utes opening up a 5-point lead, Frank, just what you said, with about 6.5, almost 7 minutes left. And look at this last play as Utah showed some patience. Miller gets the ball, and look, you see Killian goes down, a forearm, no call. But on our Southwest replay, you saw Andre Miller, that soft touch.
Yeah, I think that's a good call by the referee. You don't want to take a basket away because someone else knocks someone down. I think he might have got caught with a little extra acting there, too, with a flop. Jeremy?
Well, he is one of those California kids. You look at the rebounding total. Utah with a 2-rebound edge. Quinney puts the ball on the floor. He'll enjoy some quickness over Killian. And now their spacing's bad, Frank. Look how bunched up San Jose is over in this corner.
Yeah, if you want to delay the game and you want to hold the ball out, you better have good spacing. That's the key to it.
Eric Griffin, a 6'8" junior.
Also a mistake there. It's very hard to feed a bounce pass down the middle.
Killian puts the ball on the floor, but he traveled first.
Yeah, he got a little anxious, and he did walk. There's no doubt about that.
And now there's a full timeout. 6:24 left in the half. Utes still with a 5-point edge.
How do I love thee?
Let me count the ways. Because now there's a McDonald's Big Mac for every appetite. The one-of-a-kind 2 all-beef patty taste of the Big Mac, the voluptuous double Big Mac, and the Little Mac with the Big Mac taste, the Mac Jr., only 89 cents. But hurry, your love may be eternal, but this offer isn't.
Where does one find such love?
Did somebody say McDonald's?
6 days. 24 teams. Playing 22 games. In one amazing 24-hour city. The 1999 Quest Western Athletic Conference Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament, March 1st through the 6th in Las Vegas. The numbers say you gotta go.
Latest in a long history of exceptional cars from Audi. The Audi A6.
Utes by 5, but a moment ago, Frank, we saw spacing a problem now for San Jose State in the offensive end.
Probably the most important word in basketball is spacing. Now look at this. There's the three-point line, and what we're seeing there is all 10 players are in there. Now, obviously, that's a lot easier to defend people in this space here than this space out here. So it's something that they've come apart a little bit too. And then, of course, they try to force the pass down the middle, and that's a bad passing to try and feed the pivot from the top, especially with the bounce pass.
Utes went 2 minutes and 30 seconds without a field goal, but the last 2 minutes and 54 seconds, they're on a 7-1 run.
Well, they lost the ball then because they were hustling. And I see Johnston's in the game now, and I think he's going to be a good player. You know, he hasn't played a lot of basketball, but he shows some good things. He's a good jumper, and he's a very hard worker. In practice, you got to admire how he puts out.
Just a freshman from Steamboat Springs, Colorado, Tyson Johnston, as a whistle will halt play, and a push-off on one of the Utes defensively.
Yeah, he hasn't,
Alex Jensen.
He hasn't got a lot of experience in playing in, you know, a high-powered high school basketball league, but he's got all the tools, and most of all you got to admire is how hard he works, Steve.
Number 5.
Alex will go out, and Tony Harvey will come in for Utah.
And Rick Majerus likes to reward hard work. You know, guys who work hard in practice, they get a chance to show themselves in the game. And one thing about Rick Majerus, he's not afraid to use a lot of players.
In fact, we've talked about sometimes, Frank, wondering if that doesn't upset the offensive flow. How can you argue with a guy who wins 79% of his games?
Yeah, I think it does upset the offensive flow sometimes, but I think the overall good that comes from it pays dividends because you can make your players better. They feel confident. The coach feels good about them. And so, you know, if you have injuries or late in the season, you need help. One thing about the Utes, the team that plays as good at defense as they do, sometimes at the end of the season will have a tendency to be tired. But they don't show any tiredness because he's willing to use a lot of players and get key players, like, for instance, Andre Miller, a lot of rest.
You saw the deficiency at the line again of Trawick missing the free throw, but he has 8 of San Jose State's 17 points. Walk as Harvey put the ball on the floor.
Another turnover.
And Nate Althoff will come in and replace Tyson Johnston.
And those are unforced turnovers, you know. I mean, you walk, it's a...
Sean McCullough returns to the Spartan lineup.
Phil Cullen is coming back in for Utah as well.
Number 40, Phil Cullen returns to the Utah lineup.
And going out is Killian, so Rick Majerus going with a little bigger lineup now, but Sharp and Miller are the guards. San Jose State has gone 3.5 minutes without a field goal, so scoring droughts the order of the day by both teams here in the first half.
Well, San Jose State's not a good shooting team, and that's why last year they were 3 and whatever they were. You don't make your free throws and you can't shoot outside either.
Travel on the other end. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Smith's Food and Drug Centers, where you can earn 5% off your groceries with our 5% rewards program. Come into Smith's and check it out today.
Coaches don't like to hear me say it at clinics that shooting is the most important part of the game because they think that players will become unselfish. But I'll tell you what, Houdini could coach a team that can't shoot and you can't win. You know who Houdini is, right?
Houdini, that's the guy who runs the little deli in downtown Salt Lake.
That's exactly
That's
right.
what I thought. Andre Miller gives Utah the lead at 24-17, largest lead of the game.
Yeah, you know, the Utes get another basket or two before the half and increase this lead to somewhere around, you know, anywhere from 8 to 10 points, and San Jose's in trouble. And that's what I meant about being out of the bag, that they like to control the basketball, and there's an iron pass, and Coach Johnson is showing his frustrations. He's going to make another substitution.
Number 33, Junior
Checking
Preston
in,
returns to the Spartan
Junior
lineup.
Preston.
Yeah, you become anxious, you know. You say to yourself, well, if we hold the basketball and we milk the clock, then maybe we'll stay close. But you see that slipping away, so your patience slips away with it.
San Jose State now with 8 turnovers to 6 for Utah. The crowd trying to get their team back into it. And Cullen knocks down the smaller man, Michael Quinney, after a deflection.
Wow,
Good defense by San
I don't know
Jose.
if about that one. Look, watch this one.
Here's the deflection.
As Cullen comes around. Well, I guess he did make the contact. I don't know. Ooh,
I think they were both going for the ball.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But a smaller man that time got the call, Michael Quinney.
At the free throw line.
Number 2 on Phil Cullen. Both teams in the bonus.
Well, they need these 2 free throws. If they miss these 2.
With 4:34 left in the half, they need to narrow that gap to 7-point bulge. In a game that's played at this pace, it's like 10 or 12 points in an up and down game.
Yeah, see, they miss it, and so they take away the opportunity. If they stayed within 5 points, I think they got to be satisfied with their half.
It is the Achilles heel, though, of this San Jose State team.
Yeah, and I don't know what the answer is to that. You know, I'm sure they practice a lot and they realize it's an Achilles heel, so they work at it. Maybe they put too much pressure on it. So
Harvey for 3, and he hits his second three-pointer of the night.
Yeah, and suddenly it's a 10-point lead, and you say, wow. And it's no fun playing, Steve, when you only score 17 points in almost a half.
Well, this is a team that has been held down. We told you about the 46 against New Mexico. And Utah has certainly showed the ability to hold teams scoring down, way down, as timeout is taken.
The only team that scored a shot over 50% against them, though.
More from San Jose in just a moment.
When you drive a new GMC Jimmy with 190 horses and push-button four-wheel drive, you'll be ready for anything. Even a sudden snowfall.
Get $1,000 cash back on 1999 Jimmys, or choose 2.9 financing for up to 36 months.
Hello?
Yes, we've got a new cellular plan with your prepayment of activation charges. Prime non-peak day part minutes from
Cellular phone offers are not always clear. But ever since Sprint PCS built the only all-digital nationwide network, everything is clear, including the offer.
Hello?
Sprint PCS is now just $30 for 200 minutes anytime.
Wow.
For non-peak weekday minutes. You following me? Excellent. Now there are a few disclosures.
Sprint PCS, right now just $1 a day.
Fee and various other charges.
If you missed last week's Giant President's Weekend at R.C. Willey, you're not too late. We've extended it through Monday, February 22nd. You'll save on every TV, every big screen, every VCR, every computer, phone, every cellular phone. Save on every boombox stereo, every car stereo, every camcorder. They're all on sale. Save on every refrigerator, range, washer and dryer, microwave, every major appliance, because through Monday, they're all on sale. Instant credit, free delivery, and Saturday free hot dogs. Nobody beats R.C. Willey. Nobody.
A future Ute cheerleader, perhaps, enjoying this one tonight. Utah with a 10-point edge with 3:55 remaining in the half. Tomorrow night at 11, KJAZ TV brings you the classic comedy Arthur, starring Dudley Moore and Liza Minnelli. It's the lovable, limey Dudley Moore, and it's our late movie at 11 tomorrow night right here on KJAZ TV.
And that is one funny movie.
That's a classic, isn't it?
He was terrific in that.
Back to action again. Tyson Johnston has checked in for the Utes. 5 minutes, and the Spartans only have 1 point.
Yeah, this is a very, very important stop for the Spartans. They've got to, if Utah, it sounds crazy, but you know, when you're a slowed down team, it's very hard to catch up. You suddenly can't turn it up and say, well, we got to turn over a 10-point lead. And now it's the Utes that are showing good patience. They want to get something good.
They run the motion, the passing game.
Yes, they do, and they do it very well.
Miller pulls up, off the iron, chance for the Spartans to run.
Yeah,
and Sharp,
there was a walk.
There was
a good call.
Sharp forced him into that by shadowing him and not going for the ball to create the contact.
That's exactly right, and he caused him by getting back on defense and getting in a lane with him. When he looked up, suddenly there was a body there. That was excellent defense on Sharp's part.
See it again. Watch the outlet pass, and Sharp does not go for the ball. He just...
That's right. He just gets over there and causes him to look up, and when he does, he sees a red shirt.
Adam Sharp, when the reins are handed to him as the point guard, the heir apparent next year, is going to be a good one. As you saw right there, the pass. Now, Harvey couldn't finish, but it was a great pass and a wonderful move to the basket by Harvey. Spartans need a make. Got to have a basket here. And again, snake bit inside. Eric Griffin's shot won't go.
And now they got to get back on defense, which gets a lot harder to do too. And there's a three-point play.
Harvey takes the contact and scores the basket. I wondered that maybe Sharp had made the wrong pass that time because there wasn't much room for Harvey to go through. But he's able to settle the hips, pull up, as you watch it again on our replay.
Yeah, when you see him get up here, you know, he's a very good athlete. You know, there he gets it back and squares on the basket and puts it down real soft. And you know what happens, Steve? This is also, when you try to milk the clock and work the way, you get very tired. It's like teams that used to run the old shuffle offense. It's very hard. And so that now suddenly you don't get back on defense maybe as well as you should. I thought he rushed that foul shot a little bit then.
Junior Preston with an aggressive rebound, has the basketball. He's an interesting story, just a freshman. Hasn't been in the lineup since December 7th until the last 3 games. You know, inside, that's a big basket that time by Will Trawick. Back to the Preston story though, Frank. He got injured, and they kind of forgot about him. And then there was no school here from Christmas until almost mid-part to the end part of January. So he went home, did Junior Preston to Huntsville, Alabama, got in shape. But the coaches just kind of forgot about him in the rotation. Inserted him 3 games ago, and he's been able to be productive for them. Junior Preston, a 6'1" freshman guard. Nate Althoff inside for Utah. And the Utes extend the lead now. 31-19 inside 2 minutes.
Well, you like to hear a story where a kid doesn't give up and keeps on playing, works real hard.
Terrence Richman, he's been quiet in the first half.
Someone's got to work on his coffers though, because he doesn't have any socks on. He's got his shirt hanging out. And believe it or not, neatness counts.
Yes, it does. And Rick Majerus wants a 20-second timeout, and the reason he's upset is because of the position that San Jose State is able to get inside.
Yeah, it was a way too easy a basket. And Rick knows that somewhere else down the line, that may be a costly basket in the game that you have to win.
20-second timeout, Mount Olympus. Now, you see Rick Majerus talking about Cullen putting a body on him. Watch it again.
Well, you know, Rick Majerus never lets up, all right? Yep. He got there a little bit late.
And
gives way, leaves his feet. Yep.
So you stand there, you put your hands up, you take the body contact, and that's what Majerus was saying, is you get defensive position and then hold it. You're 6'10", play like it.
Well, Rick Majerus could talk about defending the press for probably 2 weeks straight without ever stopping. One thing he knows is how to defend in the hole and also how to play offensively. He's probably the best coach I've ever seen in working with big men, both defensively and offensively.
Utes by 10 with a basketball. 1:23 left in the half. Again, San Jose State has ratcheted it up a notch defensively. They're playing man-to-man, but they're keeping Trawick in the middle to take away the paint. And that's because they don't really view Johnston as a threat. Now, Trawick jumps out to double, and somebody comes backside to help. But Johnston and Althoff, they feel, are not offensive threats, so they can play zone in the middle. Trawick gets a nice defensive rebound, and look out, here come the Spartans trying to make a run right before the half. That's a walk, and he's caught. Little over-anxious that time, Terrence Richman.
Yeah, trying to rush, and you know, you want to hurry up, but you don't want to rush.
Don Wood.
Story of life.
Let's hurry, but don't rush.
Yep. And now, of course, you know, Andre Miller will want to control the last minute of the half. And not be satisfied necessarily with the 10-point lead, but not give the Spartans a chance to leave the court with some momentum. Now let's look at the Utes spread the floor this time.
And they go into the offense with 19 on the shot clock. As Miller goes down, Killian pulls up, and a rebound comes off to Eric Griffin. Quickly up floor now.
Yeah,
R.J. Powell.
They'll get one more chance. You know, one of the things I always thought that it would be great if you could hold the ball like they do, but then play a pressing defense. And here, you bet Andre's going to get something.
And Killian takes a hard foul from behind. Luckily, the pad is there on the goal, because otherwise he could have been hurt. But it's a hard foul from behind. And that's going to be called as an intentional foul.
Yeah, intentional foul and a frustrating foul. You know, I mean, that's all it is on the part of the...
Second personal.
Yeah, Eric Griffin making sure it was a hard foul.
Yeah, but you take away your opportunity to score yourself. You really hurt your team.
Sometimes you have to know when to fold them, and that means allow that basket. And he's talking, you hurt the team. As you see his coach talking to him, he says, you hurt us because we not only gave up the 2 free throws, but we lose the possession. We don't have an opportunity to score.
And Killian, I mean, I think you'd have to hit him with an axe to hurt him. I mean, he's got a... I'm surprised that the basket's still standing.
Griffin, a JC transfer. You might expect it of the freshman, but Johnson, Coach Phil Johnson, explaining to his player.
Yeah, you hurt the team. That's the main thing.
And a chance for the Utes with 10 seconds left to get another basket. So instead of single digits, with San Jose State coming back, now Utah a chance to go up 14. Andre Miller, and won't go down, and that's the end of the half. Utah has a 12-point lead, but it's been a hard-fought first half as the Spartans are not going gracefully into that good night. And we will be back for halftime in just a moment.
As most of you know by now, I am Scott Christopher, the KJAZ TV movie guy, inviting you to join me every night of the week at varying times for different great movies like this one.
I want to marry you. Although I'm supposed to marry Susan in 20 minutes.
You know, he seems drunk, but he sounds sincere.
Feature role. Yeah.
So movies of that kind of caliber and quality every single weeknight at varying times. Make sure you join me here. Scott Christopher, KJAZ TV movie guy.
Looking to spice up your winter? You know who to see. Right now, when you purchase a new or used vehicle from any of the 11 Larry H. Miller dealerships, you'll receive a free drive-away vacation to Disneyland or another great location. And 4 free tickets to Disney on Ice presents Happily Ever After at the Delta Center. Let's see, a great deal on a new or used vehicle, a free vacation, and 4 free Disney on Ice tickets? Exciting news like that makes you want to dance. Spice up your winter at all 11 Larry H. Miller dealerships. After all, you know this guy.
Welcome to Utah.
Life is a journey.
Welcome to my hometown. I have 3 kids and a mortgage.
I want to be able to pick my own doctor.
I want control over my health plan.
I want to know that they're going to be there when I need them.
If you don't have choice, you don't have freedom.
Health is crucial.
Stay healthy. Stay busy. I love life.
I climbed Mount Temp 3 weeks ago. Health is everything. You're not healthy, you're not happy. Be a leader, make your own decisions.
Have fun in life. Enjoy yourself.
It's your life. It's your health. Take control.
With AT&T Digital One Rate, this isn't just any phone. It's my, hey Rob, how's the pattern in Utah phone? My, I'll take red, no make that teal phone. My, how are you doing in college phone? My, can you deliver the piano on Tuesday phone? My, Casey scored a goal phone.
The world of wireless has changed. AT&T Digital One Rate. No roaming or long distance charges across all 50 states. So now AT&T could make your wireless phone your only phone. Welcome to the Phillips 66 Halftime Report, brought to you by Phillips 66, high-octane, super clean, unleaded gasoline. And at the Events Center in San Jose, Utah has a 12-point lead over the Spartans, 33-21 at the half. Hello everyone, Audrey Piper with you in the K-Jazz studios. We've got a special story on Hanno Metala tonight, plus all the local college basketball scores. But first, let's take you to the Delta Center where we've got Jazz versus the Nuggets. The Jazz trying to recover from a humiliating loss against the Sonics on Tuesday. The Jazz scored only 56 points in that game. Jazz struggled early again tonight. John Stockton a little off the mark. Then it's Karl Malone completely missing the mark. Jerry's face says it all here, folks. Meanwhile, the young Nuggets playing one of their best games of the season. Antonio McDyess, the move and the dunk on Fuller. Then Fuller will seek revenge a little later, moving well without the ball for the flush. But the Nuggets led by 1 at the half, 47-46. In the second half, Jeff Hornacek the steal and the uncontested layup. It's good to have Horny back in the lineup. Jazz pull away. It's 95-85, only about 30 seconds left in that game. Elsewhere around the state, on the college level, Fresno State leads BYU at the half. Utah State with a 1-point win over Idaho, and Southern Utah leading Western Illinois in the second half. And the women up on the hill go 10-1 in the WAC as they beat San Jose State. Huge. All right, still to come on the Phillips 66 Halftime Report, we've got 60 minutes of Hanno Metala in Finland. But first, it's time to win that Connie's Pizza with our trivia question here. Who holds the record? What former Ute holds the record for the most points scored in a single game? If you think you know the answer, dial 990-UTAH. That's 990-8824. The answer when we come back.
Now here's the long-range forecast for Sinclair Land. Well, it looks like some snow at higher elevations. And over here, it could get pretty warm. But whatever the weather, your car will run better with Sinclair gasoline because it's adjusted for each season. Take it from Dyno, in every season, Sinclair is simply unbeatable.
Is there anything else, an only real thing to do? Anything else I need except cold and you? No, there's nothing else that'll do besides Coca-Cola. There's only you. Hey, come on, give me a Coke, baby. Give me some of that real thing. Come on.
Zero to your heart in 1 second flat. The Audi A6.
Western Athletic Conference basketball.
it jams.
Who holds the record for most points scored in a single Utah game? Back in 1962 against BYU, Billy the Hill McGill scored 60 points. Thanks for calling. The winners will be notified by phone. Welcome back to the Phillips 66 halftime report. I want to update you on that Jazz score. It's a final. Jazz win it 97-86. Well, all last week, Rick Majerus and his running Utes had every move filmed by a Finnish television crew here to do a documentary on Hanno Metala. After Utah's Final Four appearance last season, everyone in America knew about the fine Finn. But in Finland, Hanno's status borders on superhero.
Apparently he's the Michael Jordan of Finland.
And forward for Utah from Helsinki, Finland.
He's the Michael Jordan of Finland.
Number 13, Hanno Metala.
The Michael Jordan of Finland.
Hanno is probably the best basketball player in Finland at the moment, or Finnish basketball player.
Hanno is a player of great stature in Finland. He is the best Finnish basketball player ever. He's come 7,500 miles from home.
I think it's kind of nice, know that people respect and want to know how I'm doing here.
And how is Hanno doing?
So far, I've noticed that Hanno has improved a lot, and he seems to be doing good at school, at the university with his studies, and also on the basketball court.
Besides the NBA, basketball is still a relatively unknown commodity in Finland. But because of Hanno, that's changing.
Look what is happening now. There's a film crew coming all the way to Salt Lake City and spend 8 days here doing documentary on Hanno and the basketball thing here. So the things are starting to get bigger because of Hanno's success here.
And what does the star of the show hope to reveal to the fans back home?
I think they find out how different the life is here and basketball, and hopefully they give me even more respect when they see how much time I'm putting in this.
I don't think we really appreciate where Hanno comes from and the culture and all the society back there. He's a god to them, and here he's just kind of another friend to chill with. But those guys really respect him. It's kind of neat.
It's kind of cool. I'm kind of learning some Finnish words, but I mean there's some good guys, and they're just doing a documentary on Hanno, and I mean, how he came over here to play basketball, and it's good for the team.
We tease him about it. Oh, yeah, we always throw little jokes at him and stuff, but he just kind of, yeah. We just tell him, like, hey, Hanno, your crew's here, and just kind of tease him, like, about the 60 Minutes, Hanno Metala back in Finland and things like that. Big documentary, but I guess, yeah, he's a legend, I guess, over there.
Not all of Hanno's teammates tease him about his personal camera crew.
I haven't. I've been hanging around. I'm trying to hang around and try to get in the pictures with him.
This is life imitating art, or art imitating life.
What it is a country noticing the amazing accomplishments of one of its own in a foreign land.
Hanno himself says that he likes to be a Finn in America, and that's what he's trying to be. And this is how I'm trying to present him.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you too.
Okay. Travel safe.
All right, stand by for second half action. Utes by 12 at the half.
Thank you. Have a nice flight.
What could make a trip to Disneyland even more magical? Kids fly free on Southwest Airlines. A special package offer that's only for a limited time. So call now toll-free and come be part of the magic.
Southwest Airlines now arriving.
At Disneyland, the happiest place on Earth.
If you're serious about skiing or snowboarding, come to Utah Ski and Golf in the Attic. You won't find a bigger selection of hardcore ski and snowboard equipment and clothing anywhere in the state. Only Utah Ski and Golf in the Attic carry over 20 major brands of skis and snowboards at the guaranteed best prices. We'll beat any competitor's price by at least $10. Trust the company that's been providing skiers and snowboarders top quality equipment and service for over 12 years. Get equipped at Utah Ski and Golf in the Attic.
There's a lot of reasons why so many people who take care of their cars turn to AutoZone each week. The low prices on the replacement parts they really need, and the large selection of the things they simply want. But most of all, they come to AutoZone because of the helpful, friendly people who work there. The kind of folks who know their stuff and who'll go the extra mile to help you out. Because after all, taking pride in taking care of people is what AutoZone is all about.
How do I love thee?
Let me count the ways. Because now there's a McDonald's Big Mac for every appetite. The one-of-a-kind 2 all-beef patty taste of the Big Mac, the voluptuous double Big Mac, and the Little Mac with the Big Mac taste, the Mac Jr., only 89 cents. But hurry, your love may be eternal, but this offer isn't.
Where does one find such love?
Did somebody say McDonald's?
A 13-5 run by Utah in the final 8.5 minutes of the first half has led to a 33-21 edge in what was a very tight ball game, Frank, for at least 12 minutes of that first half.
Yeah, you know, I think that if you decide to hold the ball out and make the clock, then you've at the other end, you've got to make sure that you do a great job defensively. And I think they did. I think they accomplished what they wanted to, but then suddenly they had a rash of turnovers. And of course, when you play the game and you're giving the other guy opportunities that he doesn't deserve, you're going to pay a price for it, and the Spartans did.
Let's look at the leading scorers brought to us by Sprint PCS, the clear alternative to cellular. And for the University of Utah, Tony Harvey came in, really made his presence felt. Here he goes inside, and he hit a couple of threes as well. But Tony Harvey off the bench lifting Utah and leading the Utes with 10, Miller with 8, Althoff and Cullen 4, and Jensen with 3. And noticeably absent Hanno Metsola. Meantime, on the other side, we'll talk about that in the second half. On the other side of things, the alley-oop and the big put down by San Jose State's Will Trewick. He has 10 for the only Spartan in double figures. Let's take a look at our halftime stats brought to us by Icon Office Solutions and Canon Copiers, working with you to win. Field goal percentage, Utah over 50. Rebounds about even. The turnovers, as you said, Frank, really costing the Spartans. But Hanno Metsola has taken one shot, and he's missed it. And he just needs to be more in the offense.
Yes, he's got to be more assertive himself if he wants to get the basketball, and if he can't get any other way, then get it off the backboard.
All right, it's Utah 33-21, back with the second half from the Event Center in San Jose.
Hi, I'm Kevin Jenkins. When we're watching the ball games in our home, we always make sure we have plenty of fruit trays and veggie trays, along with 100% juice.
Thanks, Dad. Hey, thanks, Dad.
Hey, guys, save me a seat down there. You know, my kids love apple juice. It's important to eat 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day for better health. It's easier than you think. Just 6 bites, or whatever you can hold in your hand. I'm Kevin Jenkins, your produce greensmith, with the tip of the day.
Dad, the game's starting.
Hey, guys, here I come.
Now here's the long-range forecast for Sinclair Land. Well, it looks like some snow at higher elevations. And over here, it could get pretty warm. But whatever the weather, your car will run better with Sinclair gasoline because it's adjusted for each season. Take it from Dyno, in every season, Sinclair is simply unbeatable.
With AT&T Digital One Rate, this is no ordinary phone. It's my you can reach me in Austin, then Denver, then Philly phone. My hey, let me pick up the kids today phone. My I'm working from home today phone. My hey honey, Michael made black belt phone.
The world of wireless has changed. AT&T Digital One Rate. No roaming or long distance charges across all 50 states. So now AT&T could make your wireless phone your only phone.
Continuing education, University of Utah.
This University of Utah sports broadcast is brought to you in part by R.C. Willey. Nobody beats R.C. Willey. Nobody. By your Utah Intermountain GMC dealers, comfortably in command. And by McDonald's. Did somebody say McDonald's?
set to start the second half. Utah with a 33-21 lead over San Jose, and Utes have the basketball to start the second half. Nate Althoff, Alex Jensen, Drew Miller, Jeremy Killian, and Hanno Metala, the starting lineup for Utah. And Metala only had 9 minutes in the first half. He got 2 fouls early, and he sat for the rest of the half, as it's pretty typical sometimes when Rick Majerus will sit somebody who gets in foul trouble early like that. So,
well, especially in the game that he feels that he can win possibly without him, and he knows that the pressure's going to be on him Saturday.
Well, nice little spin by Richman. He couldn't finish, but he went coast to coast that time. Maybe should have given it up. Well, San Jose had a chance to narrow that gap.
Yeah, one of the things they showed they are going to play in this half.
Killian's shot is short. Althoff fouled on the rebound.
Yeah. And I'm not sure that's the shot that Rick Majerus would want to start the half off. You know?
Correction. Althoff fouling on the rebound. I thought he was the victim. He was the perpetrator.
Perpetrator, I like that.
You like that? I've watched a couple of these cop shows.
Talking about the perpetrator, talk about one of their graduates here is Christopher Darden, the prosecuting attorney in the O.J. Simpson trial. Yep. Ran track here.
Yeah, they get some real illustrious alums we'll talk about. Oh, blocked by Althoff that time on Trawick. Big block by Big Nate.
So that's another chance that you have to get a basket and nothing happens. Good spacing now by the Utes, which I'm sure that it was addressed by Rick Majerus at halftime.
Miller holding his position out in the three-point line, and that spreads things for Althoff down the lane.
That's right, and there's no way to double back. It's just too far for people to run. And so that's an excellent pass, and of course he finishes it off. And once again, you know, Jensen is very quiet in this game. He just does his job defensively and, you know, does a terrific
dribble violation that time. Some of the other alums here, Frank, we talked about Steve DeBerg, Julie Engstrom, Patty Sheehan, and a guy I remember, Peter Uberoth, also was a polo player.
Yes.
But Lee Evans, the guy who set the world record 43.8 in the '68 Olympics, and that thing stood for 20 years. You know, those great records at Mexico City. As Killian pulls up and finds it, but you remember Bob Beeman's long jump stood, the 200-meter, Hines and Smith. Just a great Olympics for the United States, but Lee Evans' record stood second longest only to Bob Beeman's world long jump record.
And of course, another record that's pretty good is Bill Walsh's.
Yep, he was
in
here.
10 years at San Francisco, 3 Super Bowl champions, as well as Ken Caminetti, one of the finest baseball players around.
Oh, Miller coast to coast, lays it up and in. And the Utes threatening to run away with this.
Good night, Nurse.
It is, and a timeout taken, a full timeout on the floor as Utah has come out firing and leads by 18.
Bonsoir. Dis-moi comment tu te sens. J'ai besoin de savoir ce que tu ressens. Tu es tout. Aujourd'hui, pour toujours. Je ne pourrai jamais vivre sans toi.
Want to get away? Southwest has your ticket to freedom with Southwest Airlines fun fares that begin at $39.
You are now free to move about the country.
To see a bit of what makes Dodge Intrepid fast, let's cut to the quick. It has a sparkling 200 horsepower gem of an aluminum engine, grippy independent suspension, crisp steering, and a highly functional driving space. Intrepid demonstrates a lot of powerful thinking, no matter how you slice it. Lease Dodge Intrepid now for just $269 a month.
At Siegfried & Jensen, we've made it easier than ever for you to find us. Our new building just off I-15 at 5300 South is centrally located and easy to get to. Siegfried & Jensen is also on the back cover of most Yellow Page directories along the Wasatch Front, so our phone number is literally at your fingertips. Remember, if you've been injured in an accident, don't wait. Call Siegfried & Jensen immediately. The sooner you call us, the sooner we can start working on your case. Siegfried & Jensen, the law firm for accident victims.
Utes by 18 to open the second half. You know, for years, he's been the poster boy for corporate cube dwellers across the country. Now you can see Dilbert, the new animated series, every Monday night at 7 right here on KJS TV. I thought it was Ron Hundley, the poster boy for corporate cube. What do I know, right? Hey, Utah, Frank, in the last 10 minutes of play with the last half and this half is on a 19-5 run. That's why the 18-point lead.
Well, that, you know, you can't be any impatient. They came out and sort of in a semi-stall And the Utes are just too good for them.
Murray in the lane. Sean Murray has the first 2 points of the half for San Jose State.
That was a good move.
Yeah, he got good position. I'm sure Rick won't like that either. Came too easily again. You don't mind somebody getting good position if they fight for it. But Murray actually just drifted into it that time. Mettola on the floor with a jump shot short. And that's Jensen will trace it. Look at that. That's hustle.
Yes.
That's what you're talking about, Frank. Just blue-collar work.
Yep,
chase it down.
He just does his job, you know.
He's posting up low now as Jensen sets the back pick for Mettola and pops out for the wing.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you, and there's the three. It doesn't work any better. If you had to diagram it, you show that, and well, I'm sure we'll see it on the Larry Miller telestrator in just a moment, but he sets the back pick, rolls off it, comes to the wing, and then drains
Well,
it
you
free.
try to convince your players that when somebody passes the ball, they become the most dangerous man on the floor. The next great way of getting free is by setting picks. And if you can convince your players to do that, to set picks will get you free, not necessarily the person you pick for, then you encourage players to play as a team.
And Mettola fouls, trying to deny Murray position, and has his third personal foul. It's Utah's second team foul as Miller comes out for Utah and Harvey comes in.
And Harvey shows his versatility because he can play the point, he can play the off guard, and he can also play the small forward. Good athlete and good defender.
Murray inside over Mettola, who has to just stand and put his hands up with the three personals, but it's effective.
And there's Jensen with another rebound.
Mettola wanted the ball to the front of the rim, but Utah will slow up the tempo a little bit. Set the offense. Althoff is posted low, and now they'll swing it. You know, Harvey having foot problems again, and I'm not sure if it's the shoe or what, but Frank, we've seen him in 3 or 4 games, Tony Harvey, with those shoes having problems. And I look at the other shoes on the floor, he's the only one, well, maybe Big Nate has it, but those are the only 2 with that same model of shoe.
Yeah, well, they're
all in Reeboks.
They're all in Reeboks,
but there's a different model. On the other end, it was Mettola going to the basket. Now the little jump pump fake. And the air ball pulled out of the air by Terrence Richman.
He's got to sharpen his spikes, that's all.
Althoff in the lane, has to give position and get out of there for the 3-second call. Now he's posted on that low block, and he's locked up with Trawick, trying to seal. Kick out again, and Killian open for 3, but it's short.
And that was a nice move by Althoff throwing it out. Killian had an open shot. It looked like he was almost surprised he got it and maybe rushed it a little bit.
20 for 3, converting. And timeout being taken, a 20-second timeout, which will give us a chance to tell you a little more about the Utah crowd that is here. It's a very good, well-represented Utah contingent right behind that bench, and some familiar faces and names that are here tonight, Frank. Here's a look at Walter Watts, a member of that 1991.
Good all-around athlete,
yeah, he was a member
player,
of that
football
1991
player.
team.
Yep.
That went to, I think the Boise lost to UNLV in the NCAAs. Drew Hansen was here a while earlier. There he is. He's going to Stanford Law School. His wife, of course, former player Emily Jensen for Utah. Women's basketball player, is in broadcasting school here, just finishing up.
And Hansen looks like a college freshman, let alone a guy that's going to law school, doesn't he?
He's going to Stanford.
Yeah.
Incidentally, speaking of women, the Utah women won tonight against San Jose and Salt Lake, 76-23.
Yeah.
And they play Saturday against Fresno.
Yeah, they're quietly doing a good job in the WAC. You know, we sometimes talk a lot about the men, but they're winning their division and looking forward to WAC competition down in Las Vegas. And by the way, they'll be playing Saturday at 3 o'clock against Fresno State. Come on out and enjoy the women. They play good basketball.
Trawick steals the ball from Hanno Mettola. And R.J. Powell works against Harvey, who taps it away. And Harvey's got the arms, but that time the speed edge went to Powell. 3-point attempt for Quinney. Buried one a moment ago, not this time. And Trawick saves out deep. R.J. Powell. So the Spartans not quitting. They trail 28-44, but they're still hustling. And inside, a little wraparound shot is good from Eric Griffin.
And you expect this. You're gonna get a little run by the team, but you know it takes so much energy to come so far back, and the college games are so short.
Mettola will put it on the floor against Trawick and bounce pass to Althoff. Tough pass to handle in traffic. 7-footer has a hard time handling that one. To the hoop and a basket for Terrence Richman.
And now Rick Majerus wants a 22nd timeout.
9-2 run for the Spartans, Frank.
Yes, and well done.
Mount Olympus 22nd timeout, and Rick Majerus wants to tighten up his team's defense because those 9 points, most of them came too easily. And now he wants his team to toughen up. Here you look at this one one more time, and watch how they get to the basket. Just put it on the floor. The bounce pass past Jensen that time.
Yeah, you don't see him get fooled very often, but that was a great back door and the toughest play to defend. A la Princeton.
You slide over and you take away the baseline regardless, Frank.
Yeah, you have to stay on the baseline side, so the guy has to cut over the top of you. But he was in a denied position, and they just simply got beaten by an excellent play.
This crowd of 5,000, and there's Phil Johnson, first-year coach of the Spartans. Team has got a little momentum.
Yeah, he can't certainly feel bad about his team's effort. They haven't quit.
Down by 8, they've got it to single digits. Oh, nice back cut by Jensen and an over-the-top pass from Harvey.
Yeah, that's why Coach called timeout. He wanted to make sure he directed where that ball was going on this next time down the floor, and he chose to go inside, and he cleared out the backside and gave Jensen a perfect chance to get the inside position.
But there's the liability for Alex Jensen. He's playing a guy at 6'2" in Terrence Richman, so what Jensen has to offer on the offensive end down there with a post-up play becomes a liability as he picks up his 3rd foul on the defensive end. And you see it right there off the pick. It was just Richman and Jensen fought over the top. Maybe slide underneath, although, Frank, I know you like people to go over the top, but that time, with Richman's speed, Jensen got there just a little bit late.
He got there a little bit late, and that'll burn you. But you know what? You got to give credit to them, too. Sometimes basketball's a game of mistakes, and so, you know, you got to move around without the basketball to make the defense make as many mistakes as possible. That was an excellent play.
We talked about one of the Smith's keys to the game, and that was taking away the drive to the basket and giving the foul in place of the lay-in, because they are a terrible free throw shooting team. You saw there was a smart play because Utah only gave up 1 point.
Utah's just got to be patient, let the clock be one of their allies.
And a hold underneath and a push-off foul on Big Nate Althoff, perhaps, or maybe it was Nate Althoff. I thought perhaps it was going against Andre Miller, but it's the 3rd for Nate.
Yeah, he must have been moving. I didn't see it, but we were blocked off.
I think he was trying to get some separation. They did get jammed up inside, and he wanted to step back and maybe put a seal on somebody. And in clearing the space and getting separation, he used his arm.
There was no recognition by the Ute bench, and it happened right in front of them or by Coach Majerus, so it must have been the right call.
Treywick's shot is short. Utes will run. Jensen pulls it back.
Yeah, see how Miller goes through, and when he goes through, he clears the defense, gets himself in a one-on-one situation. Good ball movement there.
Jensen pops out to the wing, and the Utes will set it up again.
And, of course, Rick Majerus wanted a foul there, and he got it. Okay. It was a little late in the call, but it was a good call.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by AAA. For peace of mind on the road, call AAA of Utah. We're always looking out for you.
Now, you want to get something good here, Steve. They've got some momentum. You want to take the wind out of their sails by getting to at least to the foul line, if not to the basket. And, of course, they lose the ball and foul.
Opportunity here. As you watch it one more time.
You know what's interesting, Steve? It looks to me like the Utes are breathing heavy. It looks like they look a little bit tired out there. You know, and then that's an uncharacteristic foul by Andre Miller.
Yeah, and he was stripped. That was also uncharacteristic.
If you look at Andre and Harvey, both down holding their pants, and that's a sign the players are tired. Of course, they play hard, though. That's why they're tired. They practice hard.
Inside. And a foul called underneath. Is it Nate? If it is, it's 4. Actually, if it's Nate or Jensen, it's 4th on Nate Althoff.
Personal safety foul.
And he'll get a rest with 4. Cullen at the scorer's table.
Line number 20, Terrence Richman, 2 shots.
Terrence Richman bricks up another one.
Yeah, one of the things that he just rushed that ball. I mean, you got to, you know, I always equate it to firing a pistol. You always aim it, you get good balance, you know. And he just threw that ball up there. You got to give yourself a chance to put it in. See, he's looking down. He's looking down. Look at the target. Took his time on that one, and he executed. And that's, to me, foul shooting is the simplest thing in the world. When a team doesn't shoot free throws well, it goes back to discipline.
You look at mechanics first.
Mechanics first is right.
Low block. Metala draws a crowd. Comes up through the middle of it. But the shot is awry, and here come the Spartans. R.J. Powell, slow it up. Looks inside. Now he tries to go one-on-one with Jensen. Has to pull it back out again.
These guys throw the ball around sometime like it's ticking.
Another brick of a three-pointer.
Well, it's a poor shot choice, you know.
Well, plenty of time on the clock,
Oh,
too.
sure. It's a, you know.
Be quick, but don't hurry.
Shot selection is another, you know, we talked about spacing and, you know, but there's certainly...
Jensen to Harvey. Oh, if Harvey could have finished that one. Jensen with the globetrotter.
Yeah, I know why the people are upset, because Jensen was still dribbling the ball.
Still had his dribble.
So as long as you dribble the ball, you can stand on your head.
Yeah, he slides along with the ball. The dribble is still active. Yeah, that's the old Harlem Globetrotter.
Yep.
That's the Curly Neal move, and we'll take a break and be back.
Thursday on UPN. World War III is over. Women rule the planet.
They tried to commit gendercide.
Now to survive, the men must. It's the ultimate battle of the sexes.
I have got a white male.
And the men are going to fight right down to the last man on planet Earth.
Thursday after the Utah game on KJAZ TV.
The wait is over. It's here. GMC's all-new Sierra, built for all that Utah has to offer. Sierra will take your family to your favorite recreation spot with ease and still travel the city streets in style. For the life you lead, the all-new GMC Sierra is now at your Utah Intermountain GMC dealer. GMC Sierra sets the standard with leading-edge features, stylish, comfortable, economical to operate at an affordable price. Your Utah Intermountain GMC dealer and your new GMC Sierra are waiting for you now. What are you waiting for?
With AT&T Digital One Rate, this isn't just any phone. It's my, hey Rob, how's the pattern in Utah phone? My, I'll take red, no make that teal phone. My, how are you doing in college phone? My, can you deliver the piano on Tuesday phone? My, Casey scored a goal phone.
The world of wireless has changed. AT&T Digital One Rate. No roaming or long distance charges across all 50 states. So now AT&T could make your wireless phone your only phone.
Ute fans want their team to pick it up a notch, and I'm sure Rick Majerus echoes that sentiment. Say, if you missed the special 2-hour Voyager last night, you're in luck. Tune in this Sunday night at 8 for Star Trek Voyager's Dark Frontiers. That's this Sunday night at 8, right here on KJAZ TV. Well, with 11:22 left in this one, and Utah has not been able to put San Jose State away. They have extended the lead at times to 18, but San Jose State coming back, 11-2 run by the Spartans in the last 4.5 minutes has gotten them right back into this one. And so Utah with a 46-34 edge, but it's by no means over here. And we told you going in that the Spartans are 9-2 in this gym. It's the best home record since the arena has been built, the Event Center Arena 20 years ago. Harvey outside, looks inside, there's nobody there, as San Jose State doing a good job of cutting off the passing lane, and Miller's three is errant, but it comes back out to Adam Sharp. From the long rebound off the long shot, and Jensen's three also produces a long rebound, chased down by San Jose State. Here come the Spartans, an opportunity to get to 10. So a game that was seemingly out of reach just a few moments ago is now once again available for the asking if San Jose State can put something together. Treyrick was battling Jensen in the lane, got out of there just in time to avoid the 3-second call, and now a three-point shot that is totally off the mark, and Jensen has the rebound for Utah. Harvey can't handle the pass from Jensen, though, and the Utes turn it over again. Rick Majerus wants his team to refocus, and again, you may get away with this kind of turnover output against San Jose State, but they still have a tough game on this road trip against Fresno State as well. Again, cannot afford to look past tonight. R.J. Powell, 6-footer, senior out of Seaside, California. Over the top pass, almost stripped away by Utah, and in the lane. The lean-in shot won't go down by Eric Griffin. No field goal for Utah in the last 3 minutes. They'll try and solve that, and Harvey does with authority. So Tony Harvey gives the Utes now a 14-point lead. Tonight's game is being brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places and do things you never thought possible. By Southwest Airlines. Off a pick and a foul will halt play, but Terrence Richman came off a double pick, and he was grabbed from behind. Bonus shots, 16 foul for Utah, and Phil Cullen picked up the foul, his third. This is the last possession by Utah, and we'll try one more time, but Tony Harvey from Alex Jensen, Utah's first field goal in the 3-minute period of time. Jensen will sit now. Looks like he may be bleeding as he's being attended to by trainer Gerald Fisher. Looks like he took something, an elbow perhaps, over the eyebrow. And Hano Metala sets to check back in.
Number 13, Hano Metala.
So he'll replace Alex Jensen, who leaves with the nick over his eyebrow. Meantime, at the line is Terrence Richman. He's 3 for 6 tonight, 63% on the season, which is right at the average of the team. And he took his time on that one, Frank.
When he takes it, you gotta take your time. If you're dribbling the ball and you're looking down and all that, you can get yourself into some kind of a rhythm. But you've got to look at the target, and you got to take your time then. And he sometimes doesn't do that. Now he's getting into his rhythm. Now let's see what he does.
So you think of the
away.
great free throw shooters, Frank, the guys like Rick Barry, the guys like Jeff Hornacek, guys like Adrian Dantley, and they always had a rhythm that was sacrosanct. They just didn't disrupt that rhythm at all. It was foul in backcourt.
Well, I think Adrian Dantley, you mentioned him, he used to talk his way through the free throw. You know, he'd say, check your feet, look at your hands. Everything was the same. And it is repetition. It's the easiest thing to practice. It's just, you know, something to stick to it unless you have to work at it.
Well, I know the Jazz, and I'm sure many teams practice it in the middle of practice. They'll run drills and sprints, and then Jerry Sloan will send them, and I know you did the same thing, to the line to shoot 10 free throws apiece when they're winded. A game situation, not when your heartbeat is a resting beat as Miller goes inside, and there's Cullen for the offensive rebound
by Cullen.
But back to the thought, you practice it in game situations when your heartbeat is elevated.
A lot of times, teams that have a good free throw shooter on them, the whole team becomes a good free throw shooting team because they use that person as the example.
Metala spin, and a putback by Harvey. Big time offensive putback.
That sure was. He really showed his jumping ability there. Wow.
The quickness with which he went to the hole to stick that one in.
And it was an aggressive play. You know, sometimes you watch him and he's kind of, you know, he just does his job and everything, but that was a real aggressive play on his part. This is a good defensive play.
Deflection by the Utes. Utah looking to run. They have numbers. 4 on 3. Metala down the lane, takes the collision. Rick Majerus signaling basket good. I think he's going to get it too.
Yes.
Yep, basket is good, and a foul, a blocking foul called in the lane. Richman picking up the personal foul. Terrence Richman with his second. And there's our Southwest replay, and you saw he just didn't get there in time.
No, and Metala did the right thing. Look at his eyes were right on the target all the way, and he completed the play even though he got fouled. You know, we ought to remark too, I think that you got to give credit to Sharp. Here's a guy who I don't think was expected a lot of him as a freshman early in the year, and yet he's made a real solid contribution. He's a very consistent player for the Utes.
And as I said earlier, Frank, I think when the reins are turned over to him, Utah will be well served because he has made great strides.
Well, you know, early in the year, Rick Majerus went to him. He sort of nursed him along, and eventually he became a very confident player. And I like the way he plays. I think he's going to be a very solid player for the Utes.
At the free throw line, Will Trawick, 4 of 5, and the foul incidentally went against number 5, Tony Harvey, for Utah. 11 points and 8 boards now. Trawick has had himself a nice night.
Yeah, he's got a good build on him. This guy, he spent some time in the weight room.
6'7", 231, playing center, undersized, but he's playing effectively. He's out of Oakland. And he hits both of them, so he is now 6 of 7 at the free throw line and has 12 points. And again, San Jose State trying to get back in this game. 7:55 left.
Well, those, you know, we always talk about the most important minutes. And of course, some of those minutes were right before the half. And when the Utes pulled out, 10, 12 points ahead, they actually won the game. Right in those couple of minutes, with Johnny Wooden used to call mine minutes.
Second personal on Trawick will lead us to a timeout, and we'll be back.
Looking to spice up your winter? You know who to see. Right now, when you purchase a new or used vehicle from any of the 11 Larry H. Miller dealerships, you'll receive a free drive-away vacation to Disneyland or another great location, and 4 free tickets to Disney on Ice presents Happily Ever After at the Delta Center. Let's see, a great deal on a new or used vehicle, a free vacation, and 4 free Disney on Ice tickets? Exciting news like that makes you want to dance. Spice up your winter at all 11 Larry H. Miller dealerships. After all, you know this guy.
We're just about ready to get underway, and boy, is this team loaded. They begin by attacking the right side. The team really looks hungry this year. Now they cut back left. Now he cuts right down the middle. He tackles it from behind, but it's too late. It's going, it's gone. Victory never tasted so good.
Get Connie's Pizza, and everyone comes out a winner. Call 98-GREAT for Connie's authentic Chicago-style deep dish pizza delivered hot to your door.
Now here's the long-range forecast for Sinclair Land. Well, it looks like some snow at higher elevations. And over here, it could get pretty warm. But whatever the weather, your car will run better with Sinclair gasoline because it's adjusted for each season. Take it from Dyno, in every season, Sinclair is simply unbeatable.
Tony Harvey has 4 of the last 7 Utah points, and Frank, our Larry H. Miller telestrator, will show that stick back a moment ago.
Well, what you see is he feeds inside to Metla. Then he fades out here looking to possibly get the ball in a return pass, but instead something else good happens. As the ball goes in, Metla turns to shoot, and watch Harvey. He gets a lane going into the basket and makes a sensational dunk. In fact, the best play I've seen from him since he came here in the beginning of the year. That was just sensational.
And back to action with Utah with the basketball. Hano Metla. Outside now Miller. And Metla looks to the basket, and a seal there by Jensen, and Jensen pops back out to the wing.
Good movement there. From side to side, and eventually get something good inside.
And Jensen was held as he ran across the lane, making his cut. And so he was fouled.
The foul is on number 24, Eric Griffin. His third, 16th foul.
Phil Johnson looks on. His team now trailing 53-38. Hano Metla short with his jump shot, and look out, here come the Spartans. They want to run, but there's no help. So going all the way by himself and converting is R.J. Powell. Powell making the difference that time.
Yeah, he shot that ball off the floor. That was as good a defense as you're going to get. But they did rush it up the floor. They haven't quit. The one thing you can say about them, they're not a good shooting team, but they play hard.
Harvey for 3, and Harvey hits again. Tony Harvey off the bench tonight with 17 points to lead all scorers.
You know, in the beginning of the season, I was second-guessing Rick a little bit and saying that I thought, oh, there's a great steal by Miller.
And he lays it softly in with 2.
He got right in the passing lane, picked that one off, and took it all away and dunked it.
And I could see the old refrigerator door closing, and the light is off.
I was thinking more of a coffin door. Just cover it up.
Well, the light's definitely off right now.
Yeah. Well, you know, I questioned Rick in the beginning of the season. I thought Harvey should start. But he stayed with him coming off the bench, and he's been even more valuable in that role. And he's satisfied him a little bit by the fact that he puts him in very early in the game. He always commits Harvey to after a few minutes, Miller, quality minutes, and lets him know that he's part of the program. And then, of course, he's come through very nicely.
Extension of the defense in the sole person of R.J. Powell. San Jose has not done much. In fact, they've done no real press tonight. Prefer to play it heads up against Utah, and frankly, they just don't match that well.
Yeah, and you know, early in the season, it was the pressure defenses and the zones that caused problems. But Rick kept working at it and got his team.
Harvey with the steal. Spartans went to sleep. They went to sleep defensively and gave Hano the good look, and they went to sleep right then. And Harvey came in and made the steal.
And you know, after a while, you couldn't press them because they just handle it so well. And of course, the zones, they handle the zone very well. Also, get good shots, good patience. Very unselfish, the Ute team.
Will Trawick converts inside. But the Ute lead is 60-42 with 5 minutes and 22 seconds left.
Good move by Metla.
And collision and a blocking foul, and Hano goes down and kind of grabs for his rib cage, but he'll pop right back up.
I like the way Metla grabbed the ball, then just a little bit of a hesitation. Watch a little bit of a hesitation here, Steve. He gets it. Now watch as he gets it. Boom. Little head fake, and then he takes it to the basket, and he goes in total commitment. That was something that I thought he was missing in his game last year. Now when he goes to the basket, he has nothing on his mind but to score.
It's what he talked to us about, Frank, in our preseason special.
That's right.
Tougher. He said, I need to be tougher. I know when I came here, I was a little soft. I'm sure I know how he knew that. He got told that on a daily basis.
Well, you know,
but he was right. The European players do.
European players have a tendency to take the outside shot. They want to shoot outside rather than take the ball to the hole.
Jensen goes out for Utah, and he'll sit at the end of the bench, and Gerald Fisher will look at him again, and that forehead. Jeremy Killian is in for Utah. Jensen being worked on by Gerald Fisher over there. You can see it. A little bit of blood on the forehead.
Just like a fighter gets.
Absolutely. It's like too many gloves. It's not a real cut. It's more just a mild abrasion, but it is bleeding. And
well, it's a sharp part of the head, and of course you see a lot of cuts in athletes there. And of course, the rules are now, if you're bleeding, you got to come out.
Trawick outside, he'll pull it out. That goes to the wing. It's McCullough. Whistle inside. Foul on probably on Killian. Looks to me that Jeremy Killian, yep, he kind of looked guilty there, Frank.
Yeah, well, they cleared out one side and then threw the bounce pass behind. But that's a foul I like because it stops them from getting an uncontested layup, you know.
We talked about it. Yeah, there is a face of a fighter, isn't it? Alex Jensen, he's a scrapper all the way. First free throw is converted by Powell. That's his first one of the night.
This team has been very effective at home, but with about 4 minutes to go in the half, the Utes took over and never looked back.
And also put the hammer down, as you said, Frank, to come out the second half. We've got a timeout with 5 left, but it's Utah 62-44 as Jensen gets some attention.
Yeah, I'll be leaving on the 18th, sometime in the morning, back on the 21st. And what's the last flight out? Oh, what's the one before that? Perfect. Yeah, go ahead and book that one.
You know, Dad, this isn't brain surgery.
Now Southwest Airlines gives you the freedom to plan and purchase your flight online. It's so easy, even a grown-up can do it.
Now all you need is the confirmation number. Can I go play now?
You are now free to move about the country.
Hi, I'm Kevin Jenkins. When we're watching the ball games in our home, we always make sure we have plenty of fruit trays and veggie trays, along with 100% juice.
Thanks, Dad. Hey, thanks, Dad.
Hey, guys, save me a seat down there. You know, my kids love apple juice. It's important to eat 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day for better health. It's easier than you think. Just 6 bites, or whatever you can hold in your hand. I'm Kevin Jenkins, your produce greensmith, with the tip of the day.
Dad, the game's starting.
Hey, guys, here I come.
Hello, it's me, Jamie Lee Curtis, calling you on my Voice Stream Wireless from my hammock in my yard. Since it's a weekday, it's only 10 cents a minute statewide. And if it was the weekend, it'd be free nationwide, which means no matter who I call, anywhere, it's cheaper than calling from my kitchen phone. Not to mention that I'm fairly relaxed here in my hammock. Hello.
Utah crowd behind the Ute bench liking what they see. You know, the players always get tickets, but they had to purchase 40 additional tickets to accommodate Utah fans through the ticket office at the University of Utah because the demand was so great from alums and supporters. So the Ute fans have got to be happy with what they saw. And again, just well represented. It's awful nice as a player going on the road to see that familiar red and white. There's Miller, but you saw Alex Jensen a moment ago coming back in after having his wounds attended to.
If you're a Ute fan or alumnus, you got to certainly be proud of your team, because not only do they do well on the basketball floor and the football field and everything else, but they do well in the classroom. And then once again, I remind everybody that the Lady Utes, the women's team, will be playing on Saturday at 3 o'clock. You can see the Jazz. You can watch the Utes men's team play at 1:30, and then go up and watch the women play at 3 o'clock against Fresno State.
And a reminder, we have a week from tonight, Utah at home in the Huntsman Center against the UTEP Miners. Don Haskins' team comes to town. Miller, shot clock violation as Andre Miller got tied up. And that time, Utah's players went towards the ball instead of giving them a place, so they bring the defenders. And it's one of the most natural things you want to do, and it's the absolute wrong thing, and we've all done it. Some of us did it more often than others. That's why we're not playing.
That's exactly right. I didn't want to bring that up.
Thank you, and I appreciate your discretion. You saw the turnover count.
UTEPs are going to give the Utes all they can handle. They're a pretty good ball club. They're big. And we saw the game down there, Steve. You remember they're a pretty good ball club.
Well, they are.
Great coach. And
over 700 wins for the Bears.
And of course, I think Fresno State is this is going to be a big game this Saturday for the Utes in their quest to go undefeated.
So they look like they're taking care of business tonight with 3 minutes and 43 seconds remaining. But join us next Thursday night from the Huntsman Center with that 7:30 tip-off. And as Miller hits the deck and almost hits the shot, and the crowd doesn't like the fact that he got called, that he was fouled. Andre comes up a little bit lame. And a technical foul, I believe.
Number 20, Terrence
Richman called with the foul.
18 foul.
Just kind of popped Miller, extended the arm. Phil Johnston came up, and Richman's pleading his case. And I think Johnston got a technical foul called, or maybe it was on the player.
Yeah, you know, I don't know what the row is at this point. You know, you're 18 points behind with 3.5 minutes to go.
There's the first shot by Miller. I thought I saw the official indicate a tee on Phil Johnston, but I may have been mistaken. He may have been simply explaining to him the call that it was an intentional foul. No, it is. I think he'll shoot the technical.
Oh, it is a technical foul.
Yeah, I thought I'd seen that, but I was watching the replay. Andre Miller hits all three. He'll now have the opportunity.
Yeah, you know what you want to do is, if you do get technicals or you do have problems, you want to do it on purpose. There's got to be a method in your madness. You can't let anger be part of it, because I don't think it's good for the team to see.
Well, you've taken tees before. It's
you take them if it's a technical thing.
Right.
But you know, if it's strategy. But now he's out on the floor, still urging his team to play hard, and I'm sure mad at the referees. But that's just frustration. And this young coach has done a good job with this team.
He's going to get another one, because the official work in the backcourt has taken a good hard look at him, and
This is a team that cannot shoot the basketball, and that makes the game of basketball very, very tough. You can play great defense, you can rebound, you can do everything else, but you got to score to win, especially when you play a quality team like Utah. Utah is going to take some air out of the ball now also.
Let's see if there's a turnover created here on an official's call after this, because Johnson has worked him pretty hard, and Miller's three is off the mark. And an over-the-back foul on Hanno Metala.
Yeah, they got out and played good defense then, and I think that the Utes, they wanted to...
a look at Phil Johnston. He knows that his team is losing tonight. And now we have a couple of players. Miller was jawing a little bit out there with R.J. Powell as Rick Majerus looks on, and the officials separate him.
Yeah, you don't want to have any problems now. The game is over. You know? So why let anger get involved in it at all?
And at the line is Will Trawick. He has lived at the line tonight. He's had plenty of opportunities.
You work the players into a frenzy. There's Phil Johnston getting on the official here.
think he is 6 of 7. Now he misses again. 6 of 8. That's the other official. That's another official that he's... No, it isn't. That's the same guy who's talking to him backcourt. And he's saying, my guy had defensive position. It's a battle you'll lose, Phil. And it's not worth the aggravation at this point.
No, you put it away.
Because officials have memories, don't they?
Yeah. They sure do. And you get a reputation. They're human. Most of them.
I was waiting for the caveat there.
No,
you didn't disappoint.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're a very, very important part of the game, and you have to respect them for that. I mean, and most officials are hard-working and very honest, and what a great pass.
And Metala slides behind the defense, and just the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, Metala has become alive in this half. He's looked to get to the basket a little bit more. He even forced a couple of shots, which is uncharacteristic of him, but still, he wants to be in. There's a steal by Harvey.
Killian. It's pinned against the glass for a goaltending goal.
Yeah, once the ball
Utah scores again.
Yeah, once the ball hits the backboard, it can't be interfered with again. The referee assumes that every shot that's taken, once it hits the glass, it's got a chance to go in.
Watch it again. Here comes the steal by Harvey.
Gets right out in the passing lane, all right? Gives it up to Killian. Killian takes the look over his shoulder here and goes up and puts it against the glass. Once it hits the glass, the referees assume it has a chance to win, then it's shot interference.
Utes with the lead. Utah a 16-4 run in the last 5 minutes. And that's been the big difference here. Three-pointer off the mark. Trawick rebounds. Will Trawick has had a nice game.
He's got good hands. He got a hold of that basketball that time. He's built like a football player. He's a good jumper.
Goes inside over Nate. And Harvey fights for the rebound, but too many. Spartans in there, and now a foul. And San Jose State has no field goal in the last 3.5 minutes. And Frank, if you're wondering how come it's so smart tonight, it's because our statistician David Ing here is maybe the best we've worked with. This guy has been all over it tonight.
All right.
So David, nice
job. Give him that Rolex watch that
pleasure.
You promised somebody.
It's a pleasure to work with you. And that's the reason we sound so smart. We got a lot of support crew here.
David is a math major, are you?
What? Computer science. But he's not doing this by computer, folks. I got to tell you. Sometimes we have the computer
doing it by
terminal.
the oldest computer in the world.
Right. A lot of times we have that computer terminal right here by us, and we just dial it up.
He's doing it with a pen.
David's got every basket in the game, what time it was scored, by what player it was scored, and he's also keeping the chart for the cumulative scoring.
Well, you know what? I look at the thing. We named all the famous people that graduated from here. Bill Walsh, Caminetti, and all this. Donald Beal. Now, no one ever heard of Donald Beal, but he's the chairman and chief executive officer of Rockwell International. I want to be Donald Beal. Forget Bill Walsh. Forget Julie Inkster and Patty Sheehan and all these famous graduates. No, I was Steve DeBerg, Ken Venturi, all these famous people. Peter Ubroth. No, I want to be Donald Beal, the richest man in America.
All right, well, you got a chance to be. How's that? Backcourt play. User comes in, seeing his first action tonight. Young man out of Preston, Idaho.
Yeah, it's not a bad ball player either.
No, he isn't.
Yes, he is.
Just a freshman.
Very well. Yep, another freshman. He does a good guy. I met his grandparents down in the Chuckarama in St. George one day and said hello to them. They were asking me about him. Crockett's in there for the first time. Young man works hard in practice.
Whistle stops play. Mike Mertens out of Germany. First appearance tonight for San Jose State. And there he is. Look at the 7'1" center.
Not bad either. I watched him in practice, Steve, and he's got a nice outside shot. Like a lot of big guys coming from Europe, he likes to shoot outside rather than playing with his back to the basket, but he's only a sophomore.
I thought maybe we'd have seen more of him tonight, too, Frank.
I did, too. Yeah.
I don't know if he's got a health problem.
You know what? I don't know. You know, you're a team with a lot of seniors. I don't know what you think. Maybe there's a guy, you put him in and you live with him, you know. He's 7'1". He looks like Bradley looked as a sophomore well, I don't know if I ever saw Bradley as a sophomore. I think he played his freshman year, and that was all.
He looked like a sophomore in high school. He's 7'1" then.
But I mean, this kid is a big kid. He's got to put a little beef on, but he shoots the ball well.
Shot comes up short. Rebound to Utah Sharp.
From Germany. A lot of good players are coming out of Germany in recent years.
And Sharp has the basketball. Also in the lineup, Utah just going to the bench.
Yeah, solid win. Yeah, you got User in there, you got Sharp in there, you got Crockett in there. All these young kids. Johnston's in. Johnson has just got to learn to play a little bit more. He hasn't had a lot of basketball background, but he's going to be a good one. He can run, he can jump, and of course he's got something you can't teach, and that's height.
Well, ball out of bounds off the hands of Ben User, and Rick Majerus applauds. He knows he's got that second and third unit in, but an opportunity to give them some minutes as we go inside 30 seconds.
Sure, and you know, you got a great team, and these kids later on, these will be the successful businessmen of the world. You know, athletes who go on to pro ball, most of them don't give back to their colleges, but it's the guys like this. It's the kids who come off the bench, the walk-ons.
And a foul committed by Brad Kennett, sophomore out of Avondale, Arizona, on Phil Cullen.
His first double bonus.
So with 12.2 seconds left, Utah will go to 11-0 in Western Athletic Conference play. And the University of Utah will hand San Jose their third defeat in this building this season.
Yeah, they hustled, they worked hard, they came up short in talent. We said before, they're not a great foul shooting team, they're not a great rebounding team, they're a little bit small, but a lot of heart, played good. That's the most we can say for them.
Pull-up shot by Powell for three. And Utes will just hold the basketball.
And of course, the Utes are one of the best teams in the country. No disgrace losing to them.
Final 71-50 as Utah used a run at the end of the first half and starting the second. And then a run midway through the second half to put this one on ice. 71-50 is the final. Smiles all around from the Utah side. And we'll return with some final thoughts in just a moment.